talk about electric cars, especially electric bikes. Electric cars, especially electric bikes.
Dude, I was born ready.
So let's get into this shit. So this is a topic very passionate to me right now.
Yeah. Why? What happened?
Why? What happened? Oh, thank you for asking,
Yeah.
Brandon. That was what happened.
What happened?
Moved to LA, right?
Yeah.
Or moved back to LA. And driving in LA, for anybody who lives here, you know what it's like. I've had to
You've
go
heard
from
about it if you don't live here.
So from Century City to where I had to go in Hollywood is about 6 miles. Certain points of the day, that'll take over an hour in a car. And then you got to pay for parking.
Yeah.
Rad, right? And gas
Preach.
prices are high. Yeah, just so rad.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want a bike, I want a street bike. Comes with its own danger. I do have a history riding motorcycles, so I feel a little safer, but still other humans are on the road, so it's still not that safe.
And helping teach that highway safety course, right, for motorcycles.
Oh, yeah, I did do that for a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was part of different. That's a whole nother story. Anyways.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have
No.
you have a history with motorcycles.
Yeah, so I'm not just going into it like a midlife crisis style.
Yeah.
I used to race dirt bikes, for like over a decade.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best, but I was all right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so having said that, I started looking at electric bikes. And one of the companies, through a series of events, that a VC I was working with invested in, this company, Kalk, out of Sweden, they had one that was almost moto style, but
Yeah.
street legal. And they had
Kalk was the
Kelk,
addition.
I believe it. Yeah, the one I got was the Kelk.
Yeah, but Cake was the
brand.
The brand,
Yeah, it was spelled Cake. So they're based out of Sweden. They had a lot of cool zero emissions. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
Electric, the way you charge it and everything was supposed to be user friendly.
They
you
were
know.
like the Apple of electric bikes, or they're trying to
They're
position
trying to
themselves.
position themselves that way. They're very
yeah.
stylish in that way, depending upon your industrial style.
Yeah, if you like
design.
the look of them.
Yeah. Bought one, reducing prices because supposedly they had new models coming out or whatever. It was cool. Remember, because even the security guard, or his David, the superintendent, he's like, put it in the elevator.
Yeah.
So I put it in the elevator up to the
Yeah.
fourth floor of our studios, parked it, over by the conference room, plugged it into the wall. It was awesome. And I would
Yeah.
push it in and out of the damn elevator every day.
Yeah.
You don't have to travel far. I didn't have to travel far, but 274 miles in, the bike just quit on me. Just
Yeah.
shut off.
I get a call
Oh, that's
at
right.
like 10 o'clock at
I
night.
didn't-
It's like, hey, what are you doing right now? I'm like, well, just driving home. He's like, can you do me a huge favor? I was like, yeah, man, what's up? He's like, the bike died. So then we spent the next, we loaded up in the back of my truck. I got a little baby truck. It's a hybrid.
Your truck's dope. I love that. What is it, the Ford Maverick?
Ford Maverick, yeah. So put it in the back of that, load it in, get it in here, and then start tearing it apart, see what possibly is the problem. Because I love electric bikes, and I have an electric bike, but mine is a bicycle. It's a mountain bike with a mid-drive conversion kit on it, and then the BBS HD with a 52-volt.
Yeah, you love your electric bikes.
I do.
know you do.
They're just
You rode them
great.
in the pandemic to our
Yeah.
other spot in Hollywood. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, they're just really fun, and they help you ride longer, which actually helps you, ride longer. They say on average, people that ride them, not more miles, but more like times and for longer periods of time versus if you're just regular riding a bike. Because I feel like it's more accessible. Anyways, I felt like I had an idea of what was going on. So we tear apart his bike, and then I'm just getting into the guts of it, and then take off the battery. It's supposed to be a user-friendly battery.
Oh, it had that
Pull
big
off the
prod.
battery, and it has this huge pole that runs up the center of the battery, or two of them, and then you can't just slide it back in. You have to figure out a way in order to. It has to be the perfect. It was a nightmare. It was a fucking.
Yeah, because we thought it was a blown fuse box at first.
Yeah.
But you don't know because you can't run diagnostics because once the electrical just shuts off,
Yeah.
there's no way to triage it.
And that's what happened. You were driving it and riding it, and it just went.
Yep.
Pew.
Ooh. Fortunately, I didn't get hit or anything.
Yeah.
What's funny is Beverly Hills down by Rodeo at that time of night,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like I Am Legend. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I feel like somebody came up to me,
That's about how far you made it, and you're just like, what
whoa,
is
yeah,
happening?
I was like, where the hell am I?
Yeah.
So, but yes, thank you for, again, you came and picked me. You were
You're
my
welcome.
knight.
Yeah.
And we loaded it up. We brought it, and you even tried to work on it that night because you knew
Yeah.
I was going to have to use it.
Yeah.
So we go through the process. You did a lot of great due diligence for me, looking up on Reddit. We
Mm-hmm.
found out a bunch of things, and I'm like, cool.
And what did we find out?
Well, this is where it even gets funner, right? This is
Yeah.
where it gets super fun. I don't know if funner is the word, but whatever.
More funner.
More funner. So I was like, I'm going to call Cake the next morning because I tried calling them that night, but their customer service wasn't up. Whatever.
Yeah.
I tried emailing, whatever.
This might be in Sweden. Who knows?
Yeah, right. But come to find out, they filed for bankruptcy, like
Yeah.
right around that same exact point in time.
Yeah, it was like the next day or some shit.
And Sweden, yeah, it's like they heard that I broke my bike. They're like, we don't want to help Neil. No. So in Sweden's bankruptcy proceedings move way faster than North America.
Yeah.
And again, because I had relationships with the VC company that was one of the investors of it, small investor, but still nonetheless, I thought, okay, maybe I can get some help, a little backdoor service because I know people who know people, maybe I'm important. Well, I was important enough to get on an email thread with people, but not important enough to actually do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know the exact timeline, but let's just say 2 weeks go by and I end up having to consign the bike back to the place I bought it, 274 miles. And after they sold it, because they said that it needed a new battery, and the only person that had a battery they could get a hold of was one of their Cakes technicians that deflected from their Venice store to come work for them in Huntington Beach. And so he charged them $2,600 for this battery that would have been under warranty, under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
So not only did I consign it and take a loss on what I paid for it, then I had to pay $2,600 and I had to pay 15% to the consignment. The store I bought it from, I'm not going to name it because I just prefer people not know about it any more than they need to. They helped, but it was never felt, I don't know. You know, some places you go and you just never feel taken care of.
Yeah.
Or something doesn't feel 100%.
Yeah.
This was one of them. This wasn't the Cake store in Venice. When I went and test rode there, they were nothing but nice. Mm-hmm. Now I know why they were on discount. Once you see something unravel, you hear all the stories and you find out all the reasons why
you see how
happens.
the sausage is made behind it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So am I mad at Cake? Well, I'm mad that I'm a customer that got fucked.
Yeah.
But you could see how that happens in business.
Yeah.
Especially having experience in investing in startups and new tech.
Yeah.
Hardware's just tough.
Yeah.
Electric is tough.
Yeah.
Electric motorcycles even tougher because you're talking about a niche market already. And
tell that to all the kids on Surrons and
Surron's a little different
in Manhattan Beach.
So the people, I will say this about Surron, they clearly have something figured out because they don't cost as much as a lot of the other bikes. Yeah. The Cake positioned himself as a premium model.
Yeah.
And, when you charge premium prices, but then ultimately it doesn't work out, it just leaves a worse taste. But if this was a North American company, there could be some retribution,
Yeah.
But you'd still have to wait for it. It's not going to be an immediate fix. And when you use an electric bike as your primary mode of transportation, whether or not you are given a brand new bike, you're going to have to wait. Yeah. It's not going to solve your immediate problems. So then you're on ride shares, you're looking for cars, whatever the case may be to solve your problem. So that happened, right?
Yeah.
And, during our process of due diligence, we saw that Zero Motorcycles had a bunch of issues. They still have bikes out there right now. And there's just all these brands, electric motorcycle brands out there, and they're cool, man.
Yeah.
So many of them are so cool.
Yeah.
And
I sent you a couple.
You did. You sent me all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah.
But the problem with them is they don't have the infrastructure to support
the
problems when they happen. So then I discovered the Livewire, the Harley Livewire. Beautiful bike. And it was right when the Del Mar S2s came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is something I can get behind. Went and test rode one at this place, Bartell's in Marina Del Rey over by Venice.
It's like a silent rocket.
Dude, that thing is a Tesla on two wheels. It is so fun to ride. Pure joy. And somebody who's ridden combustible engines, a good portion of their life.
Yeah.
This thing takes riding to a whole new level. I don't care how much you're into combustible engines. It's such a different ride, and you don't have to worry about the clutch. I mean, but it's so fast. The traction, like, I can't say enough about the ride. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about it most is Livewire is owned by Harley.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson. And because of it, I'm like, okay, if this thing does what the Cake did, I'm going to have a better chance at not getting totally fucked because it's my primary mode of transportation. I want to save money. I want to get places quicker, and it's electric, and it has a level 2 charger. So it has all these a lot more benefits.
Yeah.
Infotainment system.
You can basically plug it in at anywhere that you can plug in a Tesla at or yeah.
Well, Tesla I think is level 3, but I think I could still plug it in there.
Well, what I'm saying is like at any normal like power station.
Well, charge point, especially in LA, like in our building, I'm charging a lot of the buildings in this town. I mean, even Whole Foods, you just go there and you plug in.
What I said earlier, I think that Livewire broke off of Harley.
Well, when I was there yesterday,
Yeah.
they confirmed that they still own it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So
got it.
Whatever the case may be. They do operate independently, but they are integrated.
Okay.
So I get the Livewire. You know, it's rad. A couple weeks into it.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back. The very next day after I bought it, they said, hey, you're going to need to bring it back tomorrow because we need to do an over-the-air update. But it's a bigger one, so it's going to take more time. So I can't just do the normal update where, you know, I'm connected and it just does the download and updates.
Yeah.
You have to bring it in when they are
two
sides. I know, that's what I was saying. They're like, no, this is a little more intensive.
Internet, baby. Let's go, dude.
So they said I had to bring it in. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, day after I bought it, I got to bring it in.
Plug in a Cat 6, no big deal. What's up?
And
a 120-foot line. What's happening? Drop it down out the window.
Little did I know it was a precursor of things to come.
Yeah.
The continued journey of the evolution of all things tech. So the bike, I took it in. They did the update. They were, again, always great service, hospitality. But, you know, right day after I bought my bike, I already got to do this. Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. Did it. They were nice. Great. Moved on. Road, you know, I got a flat at whatever. I just ran over by construction stuff. Nothing happened. But then, you know, maybe 1,000 miles into my ride, the infotainment system on my phone, they just never quite connected properly.
Yeah.
And so they said, oh, we're going to do an over-the-air update. They did. There was a few over-the-air updates that happened while the bike was in its sleep cycle. Rad. Never truly fixed the issue with connectivity to an iOS device, always updated on the proper time. I tried resetting, hard resets, reinstalls, everything. Never worked. I said, fuck it. Just not going to deal with it. The infotainment system, when it works, is awesome.
Yeah.
But it is super finicky, and I'm also of the opinion that that's not their core competency.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to a lot of what's being talked about with CarPlay and the deeper integrations and then phone systems or just navigation systems as a whole, whatever. I don't mind. The bike ride's amazing, charge is amazing, everything's fine. But then about 2,000 miles into it, I'm with my daughter. She's staying with me. And she and I go to the farmer's market. Everything's fine on a full charge. Come out. We go back, you know, to the spot. And we pull out of the farmer's market. All of a sudden it just goes, it makes like this real hum noise because it's silent.
Yeah.
You know, these things are quiet. It's not like you can hear it like pinging or anything.
Yeah, with the infotainment center, can you like hook up like, so instead of motorcycle sounds, it makes like duck sounds, like.
I'm sure at some point. What's funny is it actually has a haptic button.
Yeah.
So that it'll change a little bit of sound.
Yeah.
And the vibration of the bike, because if you don't want it on, you won't. It doesn't vibrate. Yeah. Like at a stoplight or something. It's not like a motor's running.
Yeah.
So it does, but it has a haptic button to change your sense
to
of
let you know,
motion.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. I think that they now put a speaker on that to play some sort of noise because they are so silent that it's like.
Some people say
dangerous.
Some people think it's dangerous. I think
they know it's dangerous.
I don't.
If somebody can't hear you, they can't see you.
Well, and they don't give a fuck anyway.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
They're
not looking. So. I mean, well, people are living in their own bubble.
It's up to you to
do your best, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Cops like, you're better off splitting lanes and riding the bike lane. And I'm like, have you seen people in LA with split lanes?
Yeah.
So I only try to split lanes on red lights or if, there's nice and gappy, right?
Yeah.
But anyways,
Okay.
my daughter and I, we jump on the bike, pull out of farmer's market. All
Out
of
of
a sudden
the
the thing
farmer's
goes
market.
down to 9 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour
Wow.
in a heartbeat. But it doesn't die. It's not the cake.
No.
And then I'm like, what's going on?
How far is farmer's market to your place?
2.5 miles.
Okay, so you're going 9 miles an hour.
Well, then it dropped down to 4.
Oh.
Dropped down to 4, but I'm in heavy traffic, so I'm like, I got to get us over because I just want to be safe for my daughter. I mean, I don't park it. I don't need. So we pull over, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because these new turtle and this hazard light I've never seen come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen these come on like this before. I've seen the turtle mode come on when it wants to do like a traction check, but it never stays there. It stayed. I shut it down, wait 30 seconds, turn it on again, it's still there.
Yeah.
Shut it down, wait 60 seconds, turn it on again, it's still there. Shut it down, wait 5 minutes after looking up on Reddit saying that might be a sleep cycle way to do it.
Wow.
It's still there. And then I'm like, well, let's try it and see what happens because I got on it. It went 4 miles per hour. A block later, it was going 9. Another block, it started going 14. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm careful, especially since it's heavy traffic and I ride kind of defensively, I think we can make this thing back to the garage of our spot. So we ride it back. Scarlett and I are just giggling our ass off and everything. She was such a good sport about it. And we were going, no close calls, just feeling, like little kids. You know what I mean? It was we made it enjoyable. But I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Again, problems with the bike. So I send in a message to Livewire, all this and that. And they're just like, we'll get back to you. We don't really know. I'm like, okay. So we're all guinea pigs at a certain point when it comes to this new tech.
Yeah.
So then I put it in the garage, go to bed and everything. Come out next morning. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. Full sleep cycle. Came back on like nothing. No problem. I wasn't told there was an over-the-air update, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was working. We went and rode it. Had no problems. All right, fine. I called the dealership. Can I bring it in? Well, we have we have one tech that services Livewires. He got hurt and he couldn't come in. So he wasn't going to be in the dealership for a while. I'm like, all right, well, it's working. So, okay. A couple weeks went by. Then I go out one morning, went to start the bike again, just flipping the switch and hitting the button. It wouldn't come on. And it was having these intermittent issues. And then it was having these issues with just turning on. And I'm like, my fob's right here, but you have to have the fob within a certain distance of it to notice so it can just flip the switch on.
Yeah.
So finally I call service. Service is like,
should wear it as a cock ring. Yeah.
well, I do. I keep not. I don't. When I say I do, I don't wear it as a cock ring, but I do keep it. I do keep it in my little carabiner thing. I keep in my pocket, so it's on me at all times.
Okay.
But this fucking thing, once I got a hold of Livewire service, they're like, "Oh, you know what? It might be. It might be the battery in your fob." I'm like, "It was a brand new bike." They're like, "Yeah, well, sometimes we issue out our fobs, and if they're sitting there for a while or whatever the case may be, the battery might go dead." And I'm like,
all right,
fine. But again, you're just stacking up.
Yeah.
Like this filing cabinet of things that just keep happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also such like it feels like it should be in the same world as like driving an ICE car, internal combustion engine.
Yes.
But it's not.
It's not.
Because there's so many other different things that we have to get used to. So like, I'm edging towards it with buying the hybrids because I've just only bought hybrids, and there's like a whole other set of issues that come along with hybrids. But then, the electric bike that I have, it is a bicycle, but there's so many other parts and components to it that I have to like take care of that are so much different than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, fobs, but who would have thought you had to change a battery on a fob?
A brand new one.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
Changed it. Sure enough, works fine.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, going through my things, did a ride from LA to Santa Barbara and back. I will say this, you really have to plan out your charge time because when you get to a charging station, just because it's a level 2 charger doesn't mean it's all going to take the same amount of time.
Got it.
I think I got 30% charge after 3 hours at a Whole Foods in Ventura. And I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to time out my
That's
day.
why you didn't make it back.
Well, that and I was starting to get sick with the Rona, but that's a whole
Yeah.
nother story. I didn't know it was Rona.
So good thing you didn't make it back.
No, I did. Oh, I didn't make it back for the shoot. Yeah. The other shoot. So, I do my trip, do my thing. I'm like, fine. Come back. And then I let Harley know, hey, when is my tire coming in to replace? Because they did a patch job for me, fortunately, because I needed it. But then they said, your bike's been recalled. There's a recall component that we need to order and, place in your bike. I said, okay. It's working right now. We're okay. We'll let you know when it comes in,
Yeah.
Once they let me know that it came in,
yeah,
and obviously I was feeling better, I took it down to the dealership on a Thursday morning because, we communicated and say, hey, if you bring it in at Thursday at 9 a.m., you can come pick it up at 6 p.m. And I'm like, that it's my primary mode of transportation. This ain't my first rodeo here.
Not primary, only.
Yeah, it's I got my feet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which we'll get to that. We'll get to that portion of the story. So I take it in.
Yeah.
They're always nice. Always nice, very hospitable. Yeah. Very hospitable. Very great customer service. But, it's like, it's good customer service, but when shit goes sideways, no amount of smiles are going to change the problem. You know what I mean? It's not going to change the problem. So having said that, drop the bike off. Sure as shit, I get a text around 5 p.m. saying, hey, there's issues with the unit.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, can you just put back my old unit in?
Yeah.
Immediately. That's my whole thought process is, can you give me a loaner? Which I already know the answer because they've told me no before.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, under these extenuating circumstances, since it's a recall, do you think I might be able to get a loaner? I'm always going to ask because what's the worst they can tell me no?
Yeah.
Shit, I've been told no so many times in my life.
Yeah.
Thanks for the yeah after my no.
Yeah.
So, and then I said, well, can you put the old unit back in? Thinking, why would that be an issue?
Yeah. Shouldn't be, right?
With the information I have, yes, it shouldn't be. But after I learned more, I realized why it's harder than it should be. So they're like, no, they didn't get back to me about the unit. They just said they can't do loaners.
Yeah.
And then they said they're getting a new unit shipped, but chances are I'm not going to have this bike back until Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, it's Thursday.
That. Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
yeah.
What am I going to do? So I explained it to them. I have a whole text thread, and they said, best bet is call Harley or call Livewire and ask for some form of compensation. I'm like, okay, this should be interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to just get around town. Because they market this damn thing as this great-ass commuter. And when it works, it is the best commuter.
Yeah.
People talk my ear off at a stoplight about this fucking thing.
You're like, I gotta go.
I'm like a brand ambassador everywhere I go. When I go get coffee in the morning or something, people are talking me up. I love the bike.
They should be paying you.
A little bit. But having said that.
Also, if you guys want to sponsor the podcast.
So I'm like, okay, I need some sort of solution to transportation. Well, nobody's getting back to me. Yeah. Now it's the weekend. The place is open on Saturday, but they can't do anything because, and I didn't know this till later. Again, I'm only given enough information from customer service sometimes. That's part of the issue. I think younger generation, which is one of the things I love about the younger generation, is that they demand more transparency. They demand being more candid about things.
Yeah.
And as a result, customer service is going to have to follow suit. They can't just say, oh, that's not the way it's done, or this can't be done. We need to know why the fuck this can't be done or why this isn't an option. We need to understand. This is why we search Reddit and shit, because most people can't answer questions. And then Reddit, you don't know if it's the right answer or wrong answer.
Now, is it Reddit or is it redid it?
Ask Alexis Ohanian. He was one of the founders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he's married to Serena Williams.
Reed did it.
So the weekend happens.
Yeah.
I walk over a marathon all weekend because I'm walking back, from my spot to the office.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good because I've been working out, I'd like to think, and this just increases my workout time.
Oh, hold on. Did you just drop that on the podcast?
Oh, my flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I know. I'm not doing a pump reveal yet. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's showing on this particular episode. I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get fit. I'm tired of being Fat Boy Fridays.
Yeah.
Fat Boy Surf Camp. That was Parker and Connor Coffin.
Fat
actually.
Boy Surf Camp.
They used to say that. Fat
All
Boys.
right.
I love that. Anyways.
So you walk
the whole
a
fucking
lot.
weekend I walk a lot.
Crimey
Nobody walks in
River.
LA
Okay.
supposedly. I know, right?
I'm just kidding.
I felt cool. Anyways, so I'm walking all over the joint. I found new parts. I found a slum in Beverly Hills. I didn't know it existed. I went down the street, went from bougie to like, where the fuck am I? I'm like,
Well, they don't call that Beverly Hills. They call that Mid City. So
no. I was in Beverly Hills.
yeah.
In Beverlywood, cutting across from Olympic area over to Santa Monica, and there's this one little patch.
Mid City.
It's just like, what? No, I love Mid City. Mid City's
No, they won't say that's Beverly Hills though.
Dude,
That's what I'm trying to say.
I am north of Olympic,
Yeah.
south of Santa Monica, and west of Cannon.
Yeah.
All right? That ain't mid-cities, fucker.
Hey.
Anyways, my point being is this. We sound very Californians right now. Californians. So I do the whole weekend, whatever, because could I take a ride share? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm pissed. I'm going to fucking walk my ass, And
unless
I think in
Livewire
total,
is paying for it.
yeah,
for
I
sure,
think I
I'm not
walked a
taking
total of
rideshare.
68,000 steps over the course of 3 days, maybe
That's
more.
good.
Yeah, right? But I'm not going to pay for a ride share because I'm that determined not to let it. Yeah, I am. It's a little spite.
Yeah.
But, it helps, whatever. So I do the walk. Monday comes. Fortunately, I have to take a ride share for meetings. You were such a sweetheart. You picked me up from that meeting.
Yeah.
Came to the office. We went about our day. But Tuesday finally came. Didn't hear from anybody yet, so I make the first outreach. Livewire representative got back to me and said, hey, just saying, I got your email. I'll let you know, type stuff. So at least they were confirming. So I'll give them that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesday came around, and it was like, it didn't know if I was going to get the bike back at the end of Tuesday. It was like 10 or 11 a.m. when I hit them up.
Yeah.
Right around 4, I said, am I going to be able to pick up my bike today? And they said, yes, it'll be ready for you at 5:30 p.m. And I'm like, were you going to tell me? I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, getting from Century City to Venice, it takes time.
Yeah.
So let me know. Because they close at 6.
5:30.
Yeah. So and they close at 6, and maybe they'll stay open for me. Here's the thing.
They didn't. They close at like 5:59 that day, and
I
you
know.
get there at 6:01. You're like,
Oh, this is fucked. Well, I will say, okay, so here's the thing you have to take into consideration. We're talking about electric motorcycles, not just Livewire.
yeah,
I'm thankful Livewire exists because this couldn't happen with Cake.
no,
I don't know how it would happen with Zero. So that company that's advertising in Century City Mall, Verge Motorcycle, I don't know how it's going to happen with them. You know what I mean?
Maving, a couple others.
There's so many. And
yeah, I mean, with the Surons, they don't even have advertising. It's just like you have to be a teenager with your parents' money in order to be able to buy one. And then I don't know if there is like a recall or anything. I'm pretty sure it's if you fuck it up, you just buy a new one. You know what I mean? I don't
things,
think there's like
the price point on those is like $5,000.
Yeah.
Now, while that isn't cheap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy that sold you the cake,
yeah,
he was saying that that's one of their top sellers, and
yeah, they move a lot of product.
Them by the shipping container full. Damn. So like you order a shipping container full of them,
yeah,
and then they just they fly off the shelves, and then you just order another shipping container full, and they just come straight from China fully loaded, ready to go. Like that's what they do. And now I don't think it's Suron. I think that it's some other type of. It's basically just the Suron. It's just branded differently.
We'll put links in the show notes to the different brands and stuff that are out right now.
Yeah.
But so when I finally went to pick up the bike, again, they're nice. And what the point I wanted to make was none of these people, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The gentleman who was helping me from Livewire, the people at Bartell's, they've been nothing but nice, nothing but hospitable. But it's like, again, where's the accountability in this?
Yeah.
Where is the process for this? Because here's the thing: as Livewire is a company, they have a P&L, profit and loss sheet. Okay, how much did it cost to make that bike to sell it? I bought it all cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was $15,500 out the door, not including license tax and fees, because California gonna get their finger up my ass in there. And, you know, the insurance every time.
Yeah.
You know, I got Harley insurance, but it came with like a AAA style membership, so that was nice.
That's cool.
But here's the thing: it's like, how much did the dealer make on the bike?
Yeah.
Even if they made 20%, maybe even 30%,
Yeah.
that, you know, it's trickling down to some extent. But Livewire, the unit that they had to replace was the TCU and the PEU. The PEU supposedly sells for $5,000 retail. Let's just say wholesale on that is, you know, $2,500, which probably not the case.
Yeah.
They put a new one in my bike and they put a new TCU in my bike, and that still costs them money because they have to ship it and they overnighted it supposedly, or they fast shipped it. But the first one that they shipped, the reason why I couldn't get it back on that Thursday or Friday was because the one they shipped was defective. So the replacement part that they shipped that was brand new was defective. Why could they not bench test that? When it arrived at the dealership, I was talking to the tech, wonderful gentleman, Mitsu, wonderful guy. He was telling me, you know, his whole process. Mitsu, like almost like Mitsubishi. That's how you would tell me, but it's Mitsu.
I thought you said meat suit.
No, Mitsu.
I was like, we're all meat suits, man.
So Mitsu, great guy, was explaining to me. He said he was on the phone with Livewire for hours trying to connect it because he needs them to connect it.
Yeah.
They're East Coast. We're West Coast.
Wow.
So people at Harley, they show up, let's say they show up at 9 when service opens. They only have access to Livewire until 3 p.m. So that's 6 hours. But you still have a lunch break and you still have other customers. I'm not the only customer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I'm arrogant sometimes, but I'm not that arrogant. So having said that, it's like, think about the time placed behind the people and the products. The only brands that are going to make this shit make it is the ones with the bag, the ones with the deep pockets.
Yeah.
The Hondas of the world. I would imagine Indian has some money. Yamaha, Suzuki, well, not Suzuki, Kawasaki. They're the ones who are going to make it. Harley are the only ones who can, because they're the only ones who can afford these growing pains, because you're spending money. Even a podcast I was listening to this morning that just came out on Decoder, talking to the CEO of Rivian again. He's had some great interviews.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they're operating
Rivians
at a deficit.
Have had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Teslas have a lot of problems.
And so
notorious for problems.
It's still so early, but as the customer willing to spend the money, premium price money. Now, mind you, it's not the same cost as a Tesla, but it's still relative to what it is you're getting, what you're doing, and you know the way it's marketed and presented to you. So,
I mean, one thing
what's supposed to happen? Like, you know what I mean? What is the best case scenario?
It is going to be a lot of growing pains for quite a long time, because if you look back on it, you've got about 120 years of ICE engines, right? And we're still developing them, internal combustion engines.
Yeah. Did they come out in the early 1900s, late 1800s?
I think so. Yeah. You've got 100+ years of being able to work on them, diagnose them, kind of perfect them in a way. And then, so like, one of the advantages of them is that you can actually listen to it and then diagnose what's wrong with it.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas like an electric engine, no fucking way.
Well, I mean, even on
It's
some of the
quiet.
newer vehicles like your BMWs, your
Yeah.
Audis, and things like that,
Yeah.
they're making it so that you have to use their tools
Yeah.
to open up that car.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Well-
make it more closed loop to where you can't work on your own car. You can't do oil changes on your own car as easy as you used to.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, look at Apple. They do the same thing with their phones and their computers, so they always
So
make
it just
harder.
makes it okay.
Well, I'm not saying it makes it okay, but what I'm saying is that you're going to have these growing pains because for, like I said, 100 years we've had the ability to kind of perfect the internal combustion engine, whereas like these, it's a new road. It's a new
But what's the customer service like?
yeah.
I understand that it's going to take time. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. You know, I never at one point in all my communication with them got down on the fact that this is new tech. I knew it was new tech.
Yeah.
I knew this shit could happen. What I'm saying is how they respond to it. That's the part that needs to be elevated as well.
Mm-hmm.
Be damned if they lose money for it.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. I'm losing money.
Yeah.
You know, I'm losing money and time because I have to readjust my schedule. But now you're affecting my daily life.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'm not just a consumer of your product. You know, my life is on that bike when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Now, you could say that was my choice. Yes, it was my choice. But I don't think it's too much to ask for to say there needs to be some sort of plan in place.
Yeah.
Right? So loaners with cars are okay. Loaners with street bikes are not. For whatever reason, Harley doesn't loan them out. Other dealerships, I don't know if they do. What's cool about this, right? So now I'm able to close the loop on this whole kind of how they handled it. So I went and got the bike back yesterday.
Yeah.
Again, very giving of information of what they had, what they knew. You could tell there's a lot of learning happening on all sides of the fence. There's not enough techs on this. The Calabasas location sends their bikes
Down to Venice.
The Malibu demo spot for Livewire sends their bikes to Venice. Road Bike Shed, I think, in downtown LA is like they do demos, sends their bikes to Venice. Glendale does have a tech. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
I want to go by there probably this weekend just to see and just poke around and be like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Just because I'm curious.
They probably don't work weekends though. So
I don't know. Again,
just kidding.
nice. They've been nothing but nice. I'm rooting for them to win because I love the product.
yeah,
Like I want it to work. In fact, I want to buy the Mulholland.
yeah,
I test rode that thing, and you know what? It's fun in a whole different way.
yeah,
So what ended up happening was one of the gentlemen at the dealership said, "Hey, we can loan you another Livewire. Just make sure it's garaged properly." And I'm like, "Yes, that's not a problem. You know, I will take." I was even offering to pay for a loaner a little. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
But whatever the case may be, when
Let
this
me
happens
rent one
again,
from you.
I have a text and I have a phone number. I'm able just to get a hold of somebody and say, "Hey, this is the loaner."
Yeah,
And so I'm hyped that I know that I have that because it's not a question of if anymore, it's when.
yeah,
And it's not because the bike's made poorly, it's just because it's so new tech.
yeah,
And Livewire supposedly might be sending me something. If they are, great.
yeah.
You know, the email communication that came across was nice.
Hopefully
Some of the
it's a
things I've already
keychain.
said on this podcast, I said to them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? This isn't meant to be a negative
yeah,
commentary over electric motorcycles or any one brand.
yeah.
I am a little salty about cake
Yeah,
on a
fuck
personal
cake.
level. I'm a little salty on the way that shit went down. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, but still,
Fucking
I understand
Sweden and
how
your
it can
goddamn
happen.
Laws. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Sweet, I mean, they're sweet people, man.
Yeah, no, great people, but your fucking
Well, I mean-
bankruptcy laws, like who does that? Come on,
Oh gosh, yeah.
you just like liquidate everything and
All
like,
the
okay,
investors of it they're not thrilled.
No,
But you know, this shit happens in business. This shit happens in life.
yeah,
I'm just sharing my story with others because if you're gonna buy an electric motorcycle, whether it's just for fun use or your daily commute, you need to understand
yeah.
and you need to have your patience hat on.
Electric vehicle in general.
Well, electric vehicle too, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I
but they can give you a loaner.
so one thing that I do know about electric cars is, and I think that is holding them back, is all the connectivity and like all the computer of it. Like
A lot of them shouldn't be
it's a
developing their
computer.
shit.
I know it's a computer, and I know that basically drives, but like work on drivability, work on distance, work on like batteries that last. Like I don't care if it fucking is able to honk in, like the Teslas. Like you can put different horns on.
Can you put Samuel Jackson's voice on it?
Yes, you can. You can do anything you want. You can make like fart noises inside the cab. You can change the color of like everything. And I'm like, cool, but
Make it more reliable.
yeah,
More functional.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, man. We buy vanity, man. We're consumers.
That's true.
If you want to see more, the link to the full episode is below. Please like and subscribe to be notified when new episodes become available.